You can do this.
In a good spot.
Well, we're live already.
Yeah, I said we're live.
I didn't really. Whoa.
I told you we were live.
I didn't realize we were live. Then you start like readjusting everything. Do I need to go turn on the other light?
I don't think so.
No, you don't think so. Well, now you like keep on them and I can't see things. Cody's with us. Go to bed. You have to be at the airport at 4.
Yeah, that tilted a little more.
I can go turn that on.
No, that's not the issue. The issue is they have to see the tabletop, or they won't. They may miss some stuff I put in the whiteboard.
You're being very particular tonight.
All right. Anybody out there besides? Oh, Cody's out there.
There's 8 people with us.
Oh, 8 people with us. Can you hear us? All right.
No.
Let us know. Are we broadcasting? Is there anybody out there?
You can do your whole like.
Yeah. Yeah. Everything I say. Huh? Are you hearing everything I say?
I can hear everything just fine. Hi from Kay. Hi, Kay. Kathleen says, I can hear you loud and clear in Maryland.
Oh,
Jill says she can hear you too.
Well, that's too bad. I'm sorry you can hear us, but it's good to know that someone can.
Right.
All righty. Let's see what's going on here.
Tell us.
Oh, the latest news
new
is
exciting
the building was dedicated last night. The Lehigh building in Thanksgiving Point. Tegan's pestering me about going up there with her and have to do a Facebook Live to sort of show off the building and see what it looks like, so you kind of get a
see where the magic happens.
That's right, where the magic happens. It's a beautiful building, I tell you.
It really is beautiful.
They got beautiful artwork, and it's all new and shiny and everything like that. I got put in the elevator part of the day with one of our people that keep it clean, you know.
Oh, like a custodial.
Yeah, custodial person, and I told her thanks so much for keeping the place clean and nice and everything. She says it's so nice to work on a new building. So I assume she was up at the Joseph Smith building or some of these others where it's kind of old and stuff, but
those things just aren't coming out.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so we'll figure out a time to go out and do that Facebook Live and record it, you know, so you can see the building, of course.
It'll most likely be during work hours, just FYI.
Yeah.
Between 9 to 5, because I don't want to
sometime next week.
Make anybody stay late, and then we'll work on getting the interview one set up. So
yeah.
Hopefully you can see. I wanted to be able to show them like the new Discovery Center.
Yeah, and the Discovery Center is having an open house for those that are in Utah that want to come by. Discovery Center is having an open house on Wednesday, Thursday.
It's tonight.
Thursday, Friday,
tomorrow,
and Saturday. Yeah, Saturday I think goes till 1 o'clock or something. I found it somewhere on my phone. I was looking at it. If you go Google, if you go in there and you Google or just search for LDS Family History Center Lehigh or something like that, then it comes up with something that tells you when it is. There, we encourage. Did you say you didn't say open house?
You didn't tell me to put that in there, did you not?
Sorry.
We can ask. I have like an audience of people that can.
Right there. The wiki.
Okay, right here. So today until 8 p.m.
Well, you got to click because
I can see it
says
right
it all. Okay.
Friday tomorrow it's from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m. and then on Saturday it's from 9 a.m. till 1 p.m.
Yeah.
So, and you can come stop by anytime. It's in Lehigh.
Yeah, they have you come in and you sit on an area, sort of the gathering area, and they have a little video that you listen to while people are gathering. And then,
is it like the stadium seating
spot? Yeah.
Nice.
And then they take you in and give you a tour of the Discovery Center and show you all the stuff and stuff. So it's really nice if you're around.
The building's beautiful. So for those of you that are long distance and can't get here, I will get you a tour so you can see how pretty it is.
Yeah.
It's a pretty building. Let's see. Hi from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Arkansas. And then Hayden Lake the Stake Family History Center.
Are we on the big screen or something?
know.
Is there a whole bunch of people watching? I hope not.
You didn't. I'm just gonna say, like, I hope it's not a big screen because I got some of that going on. Iowa, South Dakota, Harrisville, Utah. Well,
welcome everybody. Thank you for coming.
We probably have some new faces. I'm sure you guys have seen the group starting to grow. So for those of you that are new, welcome.
Yeah.
We're excited that you're here.
Yeah. If you didn't know, for those of you who are new, that you can ask questions as we're going. Sometimes we won't get to them, but we'll try. But as always, you should have seen there's a link at the top, near the top of the Facebook page where you can submit anytime. So if you're sitting there in the middle of something and why is it like this? And then you just go to the Facebook, put it in, write your thing. And then the next time we do this Facebook Live, we'll answer them first come, first serve. So we just do it in the same order that they were submitted. The
form's never off. It's on 24 hours a day. So feel free to add your question at any time. So, Oh, no. She said we're on the big screen.
Oh, yeah. Is there more than one person in the room? I mean, I don't care if we're on big screen if there's only one person in the room.
Hopefully it's just her working and then no one else can see us.
Anyway, it's, we're glad you're coming, and we hope that this will continue to be useful for you. Mm-hmm. There's lots of good people out there, and they're teaching. I was looking out I had a couple of minutes today, and I saw a couple of...
let's be honest, some people hunted you down.
Well, no, not just that, but I actually had a chance to go out on the internet.
They hunted you down.
I actually went on the internet a little bit today, and I saw a couple of people that were doing some talking about family tree and stuff like that, and there's good people out there trying to help too. Yeah. And I did have some visitors, some that came, and I thought they were part of the open house, and I got a phone call and said, "Well, there's some people down here who want to talk to you, Ron." So we went down and had a good conversation. They were straightening me out. They were telling me about a feature that they were missing that was way back at the beginning of New Family Search where you could share just individual ordinances. And I let them know that that's in the plans to come back. We just haven't got to it yet. And I told them how they could do it. So I could tell you.
You could.
So today when you share ordinances with another person, like a family or friend, the whole reservation goes away. So that frustrates people because they share it with their kids, and their kids can only do baptism, confirmation, but all of the ordinances are there: baptism, confirmation, initiatory, and endowment.
Right.
And so it all goes to the kid, and then you have to hope that the kid will turn around and share it back to you, which they don't always do.
Teenagers.
Yeah. So what I told them to do is, well, don't share them. If you only want to send them baptism, confirmation, we have this thing called the internet and email. All you have to do is you go in, instead of sharing, you print. You say, I'm going to print. Okay. And you go in the print process, you can choose which ordinances you want to print. So you go in and select your people, then you say print, and then you go and look in the pop-up that comes up, and you say, I only want to print baptism confirmation. And then you click print. What happens is a window opens on your computer, and it shows you a PDF file. Well, just don't print the PDF. Just save the PDF on your hard drive and then email it to your kids.
Sounds simple.
To the kid you want, to email it to.
Yeah.
And then tell them, here's the cards, cut them up, go do the ordinances, and then keep the cards as a souvenir because it'll only have baptism confirmation.
Right.
And when they're done, then they get recorded back in the family tree. So, and it will show up also on you'll still have the reservation. Right. And it'll look like you completed them.
Right.
So that's a way to get around that and still keep it on your list. Yeah. Okay. And just email the PDF. They're kids. They know how to deal with PDFs and print things and all that stuff. They probably just do it on their mobile phone in their sleep. They won't even know. They're just sleeping and just flip it on and send it to the printer while they're asleep and wake up in the morning and it's there. So anyway, that's what I talked to them about.
Okay.
All right. We have questions today?
You legitimately ask me this every single time.
Because I figure there's going to be a day when there's none.
No, there's not going to be a day.
And then I'm going to have to hurry up and make up something to say.
Like you have a hard time saying stuff about family search. Let's see. Welcome from St. George. Nice to see you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's warmer down there.
It is, but it's going to get cold down there. It's going to get colder up here.
Yeah, let's go.
Down in the 30s. I think you're supposed to get in the 60s or something today.
That would be nice.
We were supposed to get in 60s today. I don't know where we got to.
I think we got like 50 something.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Then the snows are coming on Friday and Saturday. Tomorrow and Saturday.
Okay, well, let's see. Have you gone back and listed the topics in the comments of your YouTube videos? So most of them will have, it won't list every question, but it'll have a brief description of some of the stuff that we talked about that night. I'm slowly working my way back through them, but I promise from here on out, whenever we finish the live within a day or two, I will have show notes for the one that just ended. So for tonight, I will have show notes up by Saturday for you guys that don't want to like skip ahead. I try to put them in order of how we answer them so that you can kind of judge where you
fast forward or
where you
back up or whatever.
I'll work on the YouTube one, so I'm sorry about that. Can I just mail the card to someone? My local temple is closed for the next 2 years, and I just have a sealing to complete.
Well, of course, you can mail the cards to your relatives or whatever you want, or friends. Sure. Mm-hmm. Just put them in an envelope and mail them.
There you go. And then get that sealing done so you can't.
Or if you don't want to mail them because you don't want to pay for the cost of stamps, just reprint it and email them the PDF.
The PDF, and it'll have shown all the other ordinances.
It'll show the ordinances that are done, and then it'll have the other ones open. And then just email them the PDF. I mean, why pay for a postage stamp?
Email's free.
Email's free, and saving and printing a PDF is free, and saving it on your hard drive is free. So why pay for the stamp and then worry about getting the cards back?
Also true.
Now you just email them it, and they can do the thing, and
then it'll show up in the record.
That's right. It'll show up on the person. So anyway.
Okay. Yes, to answer your question.
We got a couple questions.
We do have questions today. Whew. I don't know why you panic about this. It's not like you have you've never run out of something to talk about when it comes to family search. Yeah. Just saying. Okay, so our first question of the night is from Maureen. She wants to know, if all I do in the standardizing a place and or date is just that and no change in real information, why does it have to show me as a contributor? I think this takes away from the actual contributor of the meaningful information. Can this be set up so that all it shows is what I did?
Well, no. Right now what we do is if you change a conclusion in any way, that means adding a reason statement, editing it, changing the date, or just re-standardizing, it means you changed the data, and therefore it has your name on it. Okay. And I know that re-standardizing is a small thing. What I would do is the prior person had it, you could just
oh, there we go. Internet problem. Okay, sorry.
Hey, I got Google internet that's
supposed to be like
gigabit. It's gigabit internet.
Fast. Sometimes your internet is like slower than crap.
Once in a while, it has to be, kicked in the pants. Yeah. You have to teach the computer you're the boss by unplugging the thing and then plugging it. I own you. That's right. If you misbehave, I'm killing you. I'm turning you off.
You will.
And die. There's a reason that we don't. And I've told my kids, and I've told others, I said, there's a reason they don't have on-off switches on kids.
Well, you never turn them on.
You'd never turn them on. That's what I told my wife. She's like, oh, these kids, I just wish they had an on-off switch. And I said, if they had an on-off switch, they'd still be like 4 years old. Because we would have turned them off and left them in the closet or something. I mean, who wants to have that?
Well, no one wants to get up in the middle of the night and change a poopy diaper, crying, or the toddler. I'm going through the toddler phase right now, and
I'm sure you wish there was an on-off switch.
Or at least a silence or
mute,
a sleep mode or something, so I can put him down for a little while.
Yeah, that's sure. But they don't have that, and that's on purpose because we'd
never turn them off.
We'd turn them off and stuff. So
okay, so you were answering her question about. She just changed the standardized date.
Yeah,
but she doesn't want to be shown as a contributor because she wants to credit the person before.
Well, it would get more complicated to figure out exactly what you changed. Did you change the reason statement? Did you change the date? Did you just re-standardize? So, just the rule is, if you modify a conclusion in any way, shape, or form, you hit save on something, and you actually change something, you now are the contributor to that. Mm-hmm. And we just have to do that because if you happen to change it, and the person who originally put it in didn't want that, then they don't want their name credited to it.
Well, and maybe they want to be able to contact the person that did change it and ask them why they changed it.
So the only thing is, if you feel bad or you want to give them credit, you probably could, copy their contact name, put it in the reason statement. This was originally, fixed, contributed by this person, and put in the contact name. They happen to see it sitting somewhere else, but there may be a time when we allow people to search for contact names and be able to find things.
Okay.
So that's all I can tell you now.
Let's see. Buddy says the kids on off switches when they go to sleep. True. However, my toddler is.
He won't go to bed till 11, and he wakes up in the middle of the night. He's fighting it.
It's killing me, guys. I'm gonna wilt away to nothingness.
Okay.
Next question comes from Janta. Wants to know, when sending suggested available ordinances, why don't you include a caution to review the record for relationships and accuracy to avoid duplicates and incorrect entries before you request it?
When we do what? Sending suggested ordinances?
Include a caution to review the record for relationships and accuracy to avoid duplicates and incorrect entries.
And we've had this suggestion, and we've thought about it, and what we've come to realize is that nobody would read it.
But I guess that makes sense. Like, if they're going to do it, they're going to do it regardless of whether there's a caution statement in there or not.
So people say,
Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry, I'm dealing with the leftovers of a cold, so I'm going to coffee, and I'm taking some cough drops and see if I can keep them happening very often.
I made him bring in his Dr. Pepper so that we can pause frequently for some drinks. So,
but people, if they're really anxious to have an ordinance because they finally found one, they're going to go just print the ordinances.
They're not going to double check.
They're not going to. So we have to rely on the fact that when you get sent a message like an email or something and it says, "Hey, this person needs ordinances," when you go to click to reserve them, we go check again for duplicates. We check to make sure that it's all the minimum amount. See, the issue you're having, of course, is that what's required to go to the temple is not as strict as you'd like it to be.
The rules,
we try to find duplicates, and we're going to get better. And remember, our duplicate thing that's finding duplicate matches is our old New Family Search, the old prior system called New Family Search. So don't get confused if it's new. It was the old one.
It's not new.
It's the old one. We've turned it off. The search system, the system that does the finding duplicates.
The software for finding duplicates
is that old software.
And so it hasn't been updated.
It's out of date. It doesn't work very well. We've got much better technology right now, but we have to change.
Are you working on that?
We are. We have to finish up our hinting stuff. Our hinting stuff's not done, but when that's done.
Is that the next project in the queue?
Right. The next thing we're going to do is that new matching stuff. We're going to use the hinting software, the technology we built for the hinting, to find possible duplicates. And so you're going to find that a lot more of those possible duplicates that are kind of not found because they have a little bit of data will probably be found. Start to be found. But we have to be very careful because, as you know, if you've done too much, if you've done a lot in Family Tree, you realize that sometimes people just merge stuff because we tell them it's a duplicate. They don't even look to say, "Oh, well, hold a minute here. These dates are way off," or whatever. They just say, "Oh, it's a duplicate. Okay, merge, print the card, go to temple." So
then you have to. Someone has to
undo it and fix it and stuff like that. So, we're going to try to get smarter. Some of our hopes in the future, my desires, are to start doing more inline warnings on merges, especially to say stuff like, "Hey, the dates of these two are off more than 5 years. That's a big red flag that these aren't the same people, or these people live in these two different areas, and this was in 1849, and nobody went more than on average, nobody went more than 5 miles, and these things are 100 miles apart. So they're probably not the same person." So we're going to try to do stuff like that to help coach people to do things, but
to double check that. It's going to take a little bit.
We can't ask people to do the more extensive manual searches that you're asking for because it's too hard for them.
Yeah.
So we're going to just keep making the system smarter and smarter, and as we do, we hope we'll pick up and catch all these things, so we don't have to worry about accidentally duplicating the ordinances. But I will tell you that duplicate ordinances are very important to us to not have it, to have that number low. We monitor it regularly. We do both automated system that goes through and checks and sees what's potentially a duplicate ordinance, and then we have people that go in and take a random sampling and do a manual audit to see if it's and we I can't tell you the numbers because that's confidential, but we are way small. We're in single digits, and you're never going to have.
It'll never be zero.
You're never going to be zero.
Yeah.
Never going to be zero. But if we can stay in single digits, that is excellent. Because back in the old days, it was in the 30, 40, 50% kind of range. So it's a lot. So anyway.
With a lot of records, like as many records as you guys have in there, only have like single digits. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Hello from very cold Alabama.
Alabama, yeah.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that whole southern side is getting a new experience there.
I heard that it snowed this week in Houston, Texas, and they like shut down the schools and stuff like that.
Well, get to enjoy the snow for a little bit.
Yeah, bundle up.
It's part of that, sign of the times. Maybe is the weird weather, right?
Let's see. Hello from New Mexico. Hello. Right. Okay, let's see. Have you covered how to see merges? I found a distant cousin that was apparently incorrectly merged. She is listed as being born before her parents' birth, but the family at the time reused names so much that I think they just merged two people with the same name and the father of the same name, but did not check out the dates.
Well, if they were merged since the creation of Family Tree 4 years ago, I guess it's been now, you can go into the changelog, find that merge, and undo it. Right? You can restore the other version that went away. Essentially separates it, but there may be some remnants left over. We call that a restore, because when you have changes, when you merge, you make changes to the survivor. And right after the merge is done, you can go, oops, and go back in the changelog and do undo, which restores it all back to its original position, and anything that was brought over is taken back. But over time, when there's changes made on the person after merge, we don't know whether that data should go to the survivor or the duplicate. So at that point in time, you have to do a restore, and it just restores the duplicate back to its original state. But the survivor may have leftovers,
Oh, it keeps all the information.
All the information still stays on the survivor because we don't know what to take away.
Gotcha.
So you kind of have to go do a little cleanup, get rid of relationships if there's extra relationships in there, get rid of sources that shouldn't be there. You kind of do a little cleanup there to get rid of all the stuff that really belonged to the other person. And you can get that other person back, and then you're off on your way. Okay,
so just to clarify, so they would go into the person and then go into the change log on that person to be able to view those details.
That's right.
Okay.
And then you might have to scroll down for a while because it was probably happened a while ago. So to find the merge. And then you'll see when you're looking at the merge, you'll see survivor, and you'll see something called says deleted person. You click on that deleted person's name. It'll bring up a person card which talks about the name with the date ranges, and you just push on person just like you do all the other times, and you'll get shown the person now, but it's deleted. And then that top area, the bottom right of that top area, it has restore person, and you click that restore person, and bam, it's all back. It's all back.
Okay. And then has it been 4 years? Are you equating 2018? Or is it 5 years?
Well, we released New FamilySearch we did it in October 2012.
Okay, we're in 18.
So that's 5 in October. It'd be 5.
6.
That we gave it to members of the church in October. I remember because it was Halloween, October 31st, 2012. Yeah. And then we released it to the general public in March the next year. So that's 2013. So most time.
So
I count when we opened it to all the members, but if you open it to everybody, then it really officially started in March 2013.
So 5 years in March. Okay. Just so if you're looking through the change log, if the merge happened before, it's going to be about 5 years back.
Well,
or more.
That's right. If it happened at the very beginning.
Right.
Merges that were done inside of the old system are lost. We can't.
Details of that.
That's right. When they came over, they were lost. And
to be clear, the information isn't lost. The details of the merge is lost.
What parts went with one person or the other person are gone, and so you won't even see the word merge in there. You'll just say this is the values. Mm-hmm. And so if you run across one of them, then you go make a new person, put all the right data on it, and then move stuff over to the new person, and then you're off and going.
Gotcha. Okay.
You go create a new one.
All right.
What do we got next?
Let's see. She says, "Is there someone at FamilySearch that can help me? This family has had many older families and extra large duplicates in the new FamilySearch. I'm sure you probably could. You use
extra large duplicates. Well, you can contact your family history consultant. Should know how to do that. There should be a ward family history consultant or a state family history consultant. Mm-hmm. Either one of those should be able to help you do that.
Yep.
If both of those fail because they don't know, then go yell at your stake president or your bishop. No,
start there.
Don't do that. Don't do that. They are. I'm in the stake now, so I see what those brethren do, and it's. I mean, all of them. I mean, the Relief Society president, State Relief Society president, Ward Relief Society president, and the high priest groups and the bishops. Man, they're just like they dedicate
their full-time job.
They dedicate a lot of time and energy. So don't yell at them. Tell them thanks. But if you can't,
she says she is the family history.
And you don't know how to unmerge?
I don't know. Maybe wherever she is, they didn't teach her very good.
Yeah, you can then call support, and they can help walk you through that.
Yeah, support can help you do that.
We can go through in one of our lives if we want. I can go through and demonstrate an unmerge if you want, or a manual unmerge, click to unmerge, a click to restore, or how you would create a new person and move it over.
Well, the other thing we've talked about too is instead of doing it on a live, is doing like little mini tutorials and uploading them to the page so that you could refer back to them whenever you needed.
One thing you might ought to consider, there's a group here in Utah, the family, and I think they created a website. They're actually a nonprofit organization now. It's called Family History Guide, I think is the name of the place. And if you go there, it's
the family history.
Yeah, there was a set of people that worked at the BYU Family History Center, and they decided we're going to write little tutorials and explanations to help people. And so they have little videos that they explain how to do certain things. So, yeah, feel free to go over to Family History Guide and check out what they have to see if they have some instructional videos will help you with your particular issue. I'm sure they do, because merging and unmerging and restoring is
that's messy.
A little bit more advanced. Even though it's just a click of a button, it feels more advanced. So they probably have, I'm sure they have discussions about that.
Okay. Let's see. Thanks so much for adding the Danish records to your hints. For this edition, I had to look through Danish archive website, one ancestor at a time, and try to find birth, marriage, and death records. I realized that I still need to do that sometimes. But having some of the Danish records available has been great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're glad that we got that.
There's going to be more and more records from other countries coming. We've decided that we got a pretty good coverage of the United States, and so it's time for us to start being a little bit more aggressive in finding good record sets in other countries. So
nice. Okay. Can you please talk a little bit about FamilySearch Places? This FamilySearch Places thing is that?
Well, FamilySearch. You're talking about FamilySearch /research/places. Mm-hmm. It is fairly new. If you've been around FamilySearch for a while, we used to have a website called labs@familysearch.org. It was sort of a playground where us developers would build things that we think would be cool, and we put it up there for people to try and give us feedback. And one of those was this
is that your sandbox?
Standard Finder, it was called. I think it was called. And it's not a sandbox. We put up tools for people to check out.
Okay.
And the labs area has been decommissioned, and so they replaced the team that does the standardized places. They replaced the places part of that labs with a production version that is this research/places. And so it's been around, I think it's probably been around a year probably. And if there's missing, I saw on Get Satisfaction recently, and a lot of people have been sending messages that says, hey, you're missing this standardized place, you're missing the cemetery. Well, the place to tell people is to go to that FamilySearch.org/research/places, click and type in the place you're interested in. If it doesn't show up, then there's a feedback button under the menu, and you can go in and give an explanation about, hey, you're missing this place and blah, 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 blah. And then that will result in a message being sent to that specific team that handles new places, putting places into the database. So that's what that is. And so, yeah, it's fairly new. It's been around for maybe 9 or 10 months or something like that.
They're saying, yes, they want many tutorials. So they have to make you have to shove you down on
still go check out over there so you get quicker help or whatever. Okay. Because it'll take a little bit.
Oh, and Betty says if you want a demo, and she'll send you information on one of her ancestors so that you can do all hers.
Okay. Yeah. I actually did that on I went to one Discovery Day, and somebody said that, I don't know how to do this. And I said, well, give me your PID. Went and did it. Showed it to everybody in class, so I can teach them while we're doing it. Anyway.
Let's see. The Family History Guide is a wonderful tool. At our local Family History Center, we run into problems with the YouTube videos being blocked.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because church facilities don't allow YouTube videos. They block them because people will be spending all day long watching YouTube videos instead of going to church.
Are you allowed to be on Facebook? Can you see Facebook videos?
I don't know.
I wonder if we made your tutorials and put them on your page as well as on your YouTube, so people who are in those centers can see
I don't know. We'll have to test it.
I don't know.
Okay. Do you know what's our next thing? Yeah, I know a Family History Center in my building.
I have one of the Dominican Sisters of Springfield, Illinois, now using FamilySearch to view all the info of her census records. Oh. We looked today at the Germany records, which were great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some German records. Cool. Their German records are starting to come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's see. The Family History Guide page is on Facebook or YouTube. It's a website. So it's just called thefamilyhistoryguide.com.
Yeah.
I'll post about it on the page this week. It's just a separate.
Yeah, and it's not part of FamilySearch. It's not, and there's not anybody. I mean, it's not a FamilySearch site.
It's not sanctioned by FamilySearch.
It's not a FamilySearch website. It's a group of people who use FamilySearch, and a lot of them are family history consultants or area consultants, and they wanted to get together and provide training materials to help people.
So most of them are good? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, no, I think they're all pretty good. I know most of the people that did this stuff. I don't know all of them, but I know most of them. Okay. So.
Let's see. Yes, you can see Facebook videos at church buildings. Okay, so if I get him to do tutorials, I guess I shouldn't say if, when, I'll pin you down. That's short, 2 or 3 minutes.
Can't do that in 2 or 3 minutes.
We'll post them on Facebook as well as on YouTube. So those Family History Centers have access to them as well.
Okay.
All right. HQ wants to know.
HQ?
Yeah.
Headquarters wants to know?
It says HQ. I don't make these things up.
They can just send me an email or call me on the phone. HQ. Anyway, come on.
Can you print a family group sheet without LDS ordinances?
Oh, yes, you can.
Tell us how to do that.
All right. I'll show you the harder way, and then I'll show you the cheater way, easier cheater way.
The cheater way.
Yeah. So you can go in, up on the right-hand corner at the top is your name because you logged in. That's your display name. You click on that. You go to Settings, and on Settings you'll see 4 or 5 tabs when you click Settings. Some of it's about your account and your password and your
preferences,
like that. You go to Preferences.
Okay.
And on that Preferences page is a checkbox that says Show LDS ordinances.
Okay.
If you remember that by default, that's checked on. So you can uncheck that and then save it and then go to Family Tree, and we won't show any ordinances anywhere. So sometimes it's nice to do that if you're doing presentations for people who aren't members of the LDS Church. And so you won't see any temple icons. When you print the family group sheet, there won't be any temple stuff on it. if you print, about the person or anything, none of that will have any temple stuff on it. Now, another way you can do it, if you don't want to go change the setting, because then you got to remember to go back and turn it back on, right?
Okay.
So if you notice, when you click to print a PDF of a family group sheet, if you look at the URL in your browser, inside that URL is the words show temple, I think is what it says. You'll recognize it, either show temple or show ords, and it'll say show temple equal true. Well, you just go up in that URL and you change the true to a false, FALSE, and then hit enter, and it'll print you a family group sheet without the temple ordinances. How do you like that for cheater mark? For a little shortcut. Super tip, special tip, unknown tip. Like you are now in the know.
Super top secret tip.
Top secret tip. Wow. So try it. Try it while we're on if you want. If you got another window to open up, but don't stop looking at us. Okay, we ready now?
Especially, who was it? Rhonda. That's on the big screen.
Oh yeah. Don't do that. Okay, while she's typing stuff, whatever it is she's typing.
Okay.
There was something else I need to correct, and I was corrected by those who listen in and know more than I do.
I'm taking notes. Remember how they want show notes? I gotta write these show notes down.
Okay. So anyway,
your correction.
At an earlier Facebook Live, somebody asked me. There was a man and woman who had a kid. They were never married. Should I seal the couple together, the man and the woman together,
or seal the child?
Well, you should seal the child
and
to the parents.
Do that.
And so the question, and I said, seal them all. And I was corrected. The answer is, if the man and the woman never actually lived together, then you really shouldn't seal them two together.
Okay.
You should. If they didn't ever live together and living, then you shouldn't really seal them together.
Interesting.
So
all right.
So I just wanted to make sure we're clear. So if you knew they were never lived together, when they get far enough back in time, you don't know that, so you have to assume that they did. So
those older records.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, let's see. Hi from the Salt Lake Community College Family History Center. Hello.
Is that sorry? That's another Family History Center.
Oh, gosh, yes.
I'm dying. See, I can't.
Do you need a cough drop?
Yeah, we'll get a cough drop.
Gosh. It's at the Salt Lake Community College down Slick. It's in Salt Lake.
Are there more than one person there? Am I on the big screen?
I don't know. Good thing you have no zits right now. Yeah, I'm just saying. Linda says that she has a non-member account for times that she needs to print.
Yeah, I do that too.
You could obviously do that. That would work really well too. Okay, next question. David, not your brother, different David. 2-year releases versus temple releases versus time to take care of the temple ordinance that are released to temples. And I thought I could release I couldn't release the ordinance released to the temple, but I did.
What was that? Release ordinances?
So my guess is he sent a record to the temple,
right?
And then he requested it back, like release it from the temple.
Yeah, you can always do that. Any reservations you reserved and you shared with the temple, you could unshare them back as long as the temple has not printed. Once the temple prints, then it's sitting on the shelf and they're going to do it. And we don't want duplication. So once they've been printed, and it's only the ordinance, let's say you shared baptism, confirmation, initiatory, and endowment, and then they do baptism and confirmation, it's printed, you can still pull it back, but you're only going to get back the initiatory and endowment. Okay. So yeah, you can, any ordinances you share, you can pull back from the temple. Okay.
Sorry. Since I stopped I still have a day job, but since I stopped my office job, my typing has slowed down a little bit. Sorry, I'm working on it. Okay.
So that was part of the first part of the question.
Yeah,
okay.
And then also general updates on all of the great things on FamilySearch. For example, bigger buttons on the living or deceased. These things are little. I mean, really a lot. And your shoe traffic is
bigger buttons on living and deceased.
I
think they're the same size as when they're at all, the same size as everything else.
Oh, he's right here. Okay, that's me. I thought that the names that were released to the temple that you could not unreserve them. So yes, you can.
Well, you have to unshare them first, then you unreserve them, I think.
Okay.
Or you may be able to, I think you have to unshare them first, and then you can unreserve them.
Okay. And then he's saying bigger buttons.
Well, he's there, so tell us where these tiny buttons are.
David, where are your
tiny buttons?
Images and books that are online are not indexed. You guys are working on indexing on the fly, so that might be coming.
No, he's just making a statement, or he's asking a question?
I think it's just general updates on all the great things at FamilySearch, for example.
He wants to know what's coming.
What's happening.
Oh, well.
Gotcha.
Mm.
I mean, you are the insider.
Yeah, I'm going to tell him a whole bunch of stuff. I got to save something for Roots Day.
Different David saying, it used to be that after attaching a source to a person, there was a return to results link. That disappeared recently, and now I have to use the browser back button. Is that going to be fixed?
No. I don't think there's plans to fix that. The issue was they had to redo the page.
Okay.
And they found that hardly anybody clicked the return to search results. Almost nobody. And so they removed it because it wasn't being used. So, I need to tell you another way to do this. You can do it on your own with your own mouse. So what I do is if I get a search results, I want the search results sitting there, and I want it to not move, and I want them all there, and when I look at it, I want to make sure I'm looking at the same line I was looking at before.
Okay.
So I use the right-click button. Okay. So if you're using Windows, you can do the right-click button when you go to, say, do attaching, or you want to drill in and look at the image. Use right mouse click, and then it'll say open a new window or open a new tab. Mm-hmm. So you can click the right mouse button and say open a new tab, and then it'll open a new tab in your browser, and that new tab will show what you would have seen if you just clicked it.
Right.
And then you still have your list. So then I go over on the other tab, and I look at it and do my stuff and say, this isn't what I want. Close the tab, and now I'm back to this other tab, and it's exactly in the same place I was before. So then I just scroll on and do the rest. Okay. If you're using a Mac, it's Control, right? Or Command.
It's either Command click, or if you
Command click, or if you have a mouse with a left and right button.
Or you can touch. If you have a touchpad, you can touch with 2 fingers, and it will.
It's like clicking a right mouse.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I recommend you. And you can do this everywhere because it's a browser control. So
right. So you can do it
what
on
I'll
Google
do is I'll be looking.
But
when I'm looking at it, is I'm looking at a person, and I want to look at their father or their mother or their spouse. I click on the name of the person, and it pops up the person card. And instead of clicking person, I do right mouse click on the person, open a new tab, and now I got a tab with the mother, and then I do another one with the tab with the father. And I just change tabs and go to the person, the kid, the mother, the father. That way I can go back and forth and kind of compare them all and look at them and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
So I recommend doing that. You won't miss that. Once you get that right mouse click, you won't miss the return to search result button at all.
No,
You'll love the
You'll love right click.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi. Recently discovered that there is microfilm of Chicago, Illinois newspaper announcements of weddings compiled by an individual as a source for records lost in the Great Chicago Fire. Is there any way to research those records without having to wait for them to be indexed? This is why in my family that we can't get further back than 3 generations because of the fire. And this might give us a way.
Did they say that this was on FamilySearch? Did they say this? Because I don't remember the Chicago newspapers.
A microfilm. It's just as a microfilm of Chicago, Illinois newspaper announcements of weddings compiled.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be indexed. They're not going to be indexed right away. What we're doing is we've got another couple more years, and they're doing microfilms, and they're turning them into digital images, and they'll put them into the browse area of the historical records section. So there's a browse where you can look at all the collections, or you can click on a country kind of thing.
Or a particular census or something.
Yeah, and as soon as they get that stuff digitized, they're going to put it up there, and you'll see it, and then it may get indexed sometime later. But as soon as it's microfilm, they'll put it up there so you can see the images, if we have rights to show those images online.
Okay, so I guess what she's asking then is there a way to research records without having to wait for them to be indexed?
Yeah, you have to go to a family history center that has the microfilm.
Okay.
So you can contact your family history center. There's several of them across the United States anyway.
that might have.
Where's is she from? Yeah.
She didn't say where. She just said that the microfilm is of a Chicago neighborhood.
Contact your family history center. You know, if you're around a big family history center or one that has ordered a lot of film, they didn't have to send them back to Salt Lake, so
they might have it.
They may have it. I know for sure. You know
I'm sure the one in Salt Lake.
The Salt Lake has all the microfilms, so you could go there and look if you're in Utah. But
if you're not, ask around.
Then you have to wait. Yeah, ask around, see if there's a family history center in your area that happens to have that film.
Yeah.
If not, you're out of luck until it gets digitized. Unfortunately, we turned off microfilm shipping September last year.
I know, we made a big deal about it.
Yeah, you had to request your orders before then, otherwise it's out of luck.
Standard time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. How do I get the records back that someone changed?
Changed. I don't know what changed means.
Colleen, tell us what you're meaning by change.
You mean the ones that they detached, or the ones that they detached, or the ones they edited? You know, I mean, let me know.
While we wait for you to...
And we're going to do another question.
Yeah, I was going to say, while I'm waiting for you to respond, we're going to answer another question. I haven't forgotten about you. Okay. Powell says, this comment can sound a bit creepy, but I have to write it.
Okay, brace yourself.
Okay, well,
Pre-read, make sure there's nothing bad in there first. Oh, hey. How are you doing?
Nope. There's no...
Your food's in the oven.
What's on you got?
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I've discovered a site where FamilySearch awakes a lot of interest is in funerals. In funerals, people can be very favorable to watch lots of images about the life of a recently dead person and his relationship to members of the other family or of their family. It seems that at least here it is beginning to be a habit to put a screen with pictures of the dead person while people are waiting for the ceremony.
Right, I've seen that.
A FamilySearch Memories has a kind of play button to move automatically from one image to another. That detail will make it easier for families to prepare for those kinds of moments. In fact, thanks to FamilySearch, most of the job is already done. Have you ever planned any kind of automatically reproduced gallery of images?
No, we haven't. But that's an interesting idea. I mean, send that to me in the email, and I'll pass it on to the memories folks, my guys, and see, it won't be a high priority thing because it doesn't necessarily help in actually genealogy.
Right.
But yeah, we do that. We'll maybe do something there. That's not too bad.
Yeah, that'd be kind of interesting.
You'd have to have a good internet connection at the funeral home or wherever you're doing this.
True. All right, Renee wants to know, would it be possible to have the View My Relationship tab give only the person's relationship, not through the relationship with a spouse, even if it is a generation closer? I would really like the insight to give you give them this program, by the way. Thank you.
Okay, say again.
Okay, sorry. Let me ask you a question again. You can do this. Ready? Would it be possible to have the View My Relationship tab give only the person's relationship, not through the relationship with the spouse, even if it is a generation closer?
Well, it gives us in that one we show the shortest path.
Gotcha. Okay. So I guess she's asking, is there a way for it to not show the shortest path?
No, we don't have a setting for that. We don't have a setting for that. But people have asked.
Is that something
that's
going to come?
I don't know. Link send that to me too. I don't think. Well, that to calculate that relationship stuff, we have a giant machine that we do this to. So it's not that we can't do it. It's just that we'd have to do some work there. So it's not unreasonable. Several people have asked. I want direct line, direct descendants. None of this through spouses. Because right now it'll go through spouses even if it's up a while. You go up a ways and then go across the spouse and then up another line to get to it. But
I can understand wanting to.
I can understand wanting to see direct line or direct descendant.
Right. Okay. Next one's from Dear Myrtle.
Yeah, Dear Myrtle.
Dear Myrtle. But
thank you, Dear Myrtle.
Grandma Pat to the important people of the world.
Yeah. Oh. Grandma Pat. She has a blog.
Pat.
Dear Myrtle has a blog that's very famous in the genealogy world. I'd encourage you to go check it out. It's called Dear Myrtle. I think it's what's called dearmyrtle.com. She's very popular, one of the top bloggers around genealogy, and oftentimes a sponsored person from FamilySearch and invited to all the big wig stuff.
I will say, I think we talked to her at Roots Tech last year.
Yeah. So, check her blog out. You can find some stuff that you might want.
All right.
Okay, go ahead. What's she say?
She has 3 questions.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready. We'll do them one at a time. Here we go.
She usually gives me tough questions.
Also, I need to mention that she did said, thanks to your daughter for pushing you to do these videos. You are welcome.
Yeah.
It took a lot of dragging you into it.
Maybe you give us a plug. We need to get her to give us a plug on her site.
Yeah.
She has a lot of followers.
We can talk to her Myrtle.
Anyway.
Okay. 1, we were jazzed when you mentioned the possibility of a FamilySearch tree collaboration groups with living individuals a few weeks ago.
Right.
Any thoughts on about how high up the priority list this is?
What she's talking about is we wanted to have a way for people to share living into a centralized place and then invite others to come and participate in that living area. Because we wanted to find a way for families to work together for both living and dead. And we felt like one way to do that would be to have an area where all the living can be. And everybody could see each other's living. And if they add memories to it, everybody sees it that's been invited to see the set. Well, we haven't been able to make as much progress as we like. As a matter of fact, my boss got mad at me the other day, and because he told me he felt like that assignment I had has been less than stellar in getting it done. So I may get dinged on my annual review on that one. So
take it down a notch.
Yeah. So there's lots of desires to have that in the department. There's lots of desires from the Brethren to enable families to work together to do family history. That's the best way that we can inspire our children and grandchildren and brothers and sisters, and by allowing them to feel the spirit and feel the joy of coming to know who they are and who their ancestors were. I mean, even if it's not for religious purposes, just it can bond a family when you find out something about a great-grandparent or something, and you understand their life and their struggles, and you say, hey, they had it worse than me and they made it through, then I can do it too.
Right.
And so there's lots of value there. And so I'm in trouble because we didn't make as good a progress as they wanted in 2017. So I suspect that there's going to be significant motivation provided to me to get it going and get her done. Get her done. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
Okay. They're asking questions, but they're not showing up on there. I'm trying to get them to come over here. Okay. Her second question: can you retool the help area to spotlight training videos? This and the FamilySearch blog are nearly buried from a newbie's point of view.
I will pass it on. There's a different team that works on algorithms and stuff to bring up the right stuff when you ask questions or do searches. I think it has articles and then videos, so I have to go look. But I know the people to talk to, so send that piece of stuff to me, and I'll get a hold of them and say, hey, you need to do this.
Okay.
Get a little more visibility to the videos. Okay.
It would help your SEO. I'm just saying. Okay. 3. Approximately what % of digital record sets are also listed in the catalog with a digital image icon and a link to the record set? I've heard the catalog had more links to digital record sets than the browse all record sets. I have a lot of record sets in one sentence.
I'll have to check that. I don't know if that's true. That it's every collection that we have is in the catalog. Every one, whether it's digitized or not digitized, or available to browse or not available to browse. So we put everything in the catalog. So that's our central home plate, to describe and to show all catalogs, all sets that we have, all information. And then it may take a bit to get it into the catalog, but once it's in the catalog, we usually have access to those records. And then from there, you can link over to the browsing. So if we have it available for you online, it's definitely in the catalog. And some of them aren't online yet. So,
makes sense.
and as soon as we get them online, the team is working on a plan where they get it online as fast as possible, and get that first, and then start worrying about indexing it. So that right now, today, it either goes browsed or it goes to index path, and there can be times when you end up having images stuck in the pipe.
Yeah.
And so the goal is to free that up and always put all images up there for least browsing in the future. And they're working on it. It's going to take them a couple of years to get all those changes in and stuff, but you'll start seeing more and more there.
Okay. And
but send me the question, because she asked me a percentage stuff.
Oh.
So I can go check them and see if they can give me an accurate percentage about percentage in the catalog and not in catalog. Okay.
It made sense. Let's see. She said it made sense to push people to use the catalog first when we
Right.
could order microfilm so they could see the scope of the collection. But is this still the best strategy?
Yeah, if you just want to search all the collections we have available, then I think that's still the best strategy. And then you may get frustrated because there are no videos, no images to look at. But catalog's still the best approach to begin. Now, the problem with the catalog, of course, is it's not for your average user to search with.
Not a newbie. You would need to be an advanced genealogist. To
Not
use that.
necessarily, but the catalog was built using, standards of libraries and things like that. And people these days, they get on the computer and they get to a search field and they expect it to work like Google. And this doesn't work like Google.
No.
You don't put a bunch of fill a bunch of fields in and get a narrower search. So the catalog is more like you enter in a field and then it searches on that field. And if you enter in author, well, then it forgets the other field and just
goes to the other field.
Just goes to author. So
Gotcha.
but that's how library catalogs work, and so this is more like that. So that's where people get a little frustrated about.
I understand that.
Okay.
All right. Just to verify, they want to know the time frame for records being digitized is still 2020, so in 2 years.
I'll have to check it, see if it's still
on track.
It's still on track for that. That would be 3 years because you have to have all of 2018, then all of 2019, all of 2013.
Yeah, so you're saying like
3 years.
December of 2020.
Yeah, I can go check on that, see if they're still going to meet that target, and then we'll post that. We'll send that to me. Is it still on target for the end of 2020 to have all the microfilms digitized?
Geared it. I geared it.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 3 minutes. You want to do one more?
Absolutely.
Okay. Oh, P.S. She says, cannot thank you enough for all you do. Family Search is an awesome resource.
No, thank you very much. Appreciate that. From
Okay.
Dear Myrtle, that's
From Dear
high
Myrtle.
praise.
I'm just glad that she said thanks to the daughter pushing you to do this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she likes you better anyway.
I'm cuter, let's be honest. All right, Kathy says, why are we having so many problems with Family Search? The helper function doesn't always work. The find feature doesn't always work. And the source linker has problems.
All right. I figured somebody would ask this question eventually.
It's going to come up. Come on.
And it should all be settling out now. It should all be settling. But the last week or so, you've noticed some horrible things in Family Search, and we're appalled too because the system's gone down several times and lots of things were broken and stuff like that. Well, if you're not up on the latest news in the technology world, I should inform you that the Intel has announced that they had a security flaw in their Intel chips, their main CPU microprocessor chips. Mm-hmm. And that flaw has actually been in the Intel chips for 30 years.
Yes.
And this flaw allows inappropriate access to administrative functions of the chip.
Correct.
And it was just recently discovered by researchers who were doing some other work, and I can't remember where.
It was a university. It was like NYU was doing a research project, and they happened to go in and dig, and they found.
Yeah, they happened to stumble onto this thing, and then they notified Intel. They were nice and notified Intel, So when they apply, and then Intel's working to try to do a fix. Well, you can't just go run around and replace the CPU on all machines in the world.
Yeah. Well,
First off, they have to build a new chip, and then secondly, you got to figure out, well, that's not going to work. You're going to have to do whole motherboards, and we run on thousands and thousands of machines.
Yeah, you guys have a ton of computers.
So there was a patch applied. So during that time, we use Amazon Web Services for stuff in the cloud, and Amazon was applying a patch to a software patch
to help protect from this Intel chip
to prevent access to this part of the Intel chip.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, when they applied this patch, it actually slowed. It caused the system to slow, where in some instances we lost up to 40% capacity of the chip. So all of a sudden, our servers, which were humming along, screaming beautifully, all of a sudden started dying because we were choking it to death at 100%. All of a sudden, as soon as they applied the patch.
All right.
And then we're trying to figure out what's going on, what happened, and then they informed us that they applied the patch. And of course, and then all of a sudden we're going, oh my heavens, and this all happened a little bit of that week and into the weekend. So we had to run off and spin up a bunch more servers and upgrade a bunch of databases to the next size machines and do all this kind of stuff to overcome it. And that took us, several days to do that. And then, and so that's why we got burned by the Intel chip and the fix for the chip, and it killed us. And so we have a limit on our stuff. We say you get this many servers to start with, and you can grow to this many servers. And all of a sudden, we grow to the maximum that we had set, and it couldn't handle the load, and so it started, blowing chunks.
Yeah, Pat was saying, this reminds me of the floppy disk days when Perfect sent out a ton of programs with floppy disks that had a virus on it.
That's right.
You probably thought it was the end of the world.
Yeah.
This explains some of the strange glitches that I've been having. Yep.
Yeah.
And what headache. And on Sunday, your busiest day.
Yeah, on Sunday's our busiest day. It was terrible. So we've adjusted. It should be working okay.
Yeah.
And just FYI, Amazon applied another patch this a day or two ago that will supposedly get our performance back to a little bit better. So
better speeds and stuff.
Better speeds. Instead of 40% reduction in capacity, we should be near to back what we were before. It won't be all the way back.
Hopefully
software is never faster than chip hardware. So that's what happened. Sorry, but things should be better because we readjusted all the size of the machines and the number of machines, and we'll monitor that closely and make sure that it's doing better.
Good old Intel.
Well, I mean, it is interesting. You have a flaw for 30 years and nobody finds it.
How do you not find a bug?
Well, that's a nasty one because you can't change it with software. It's a hardware thing.
Yeah, I know, but you'd think that you'd want to find it back in year one or two.
I don't know. They thought they had it right, so that's easy to do in wires.
All right, so we hit 8:30.
Thank you very much.
So let's see. We have not picked dates for February yet, but I will make him do it before you leave tonight, so I can schedule them for you.
Okay.
You don't have any presentations coming up until Roots Tech, right?
That's right. That's right.
So Roots Tech is next month, February 28th through March 2nd. It's being held at the Salt Palace in Salt Lake City, Utah. Tickets are still available if you're wanting to snag one and come. They're still up and available on their site. Yeah, we don't know about which course is going to be streamed live yet. So I'm still working with the marketing department at the church. It's like a lot of, I have to go through a lot of loopholes and stuff to get things figured out. But I'm still working with them to see if his class is going to be one that's recorded and broadcast. If not, we're going to try to get permission to do a Facebook Live like this so that people can tune in and listen. And then if not, you can always rewatch it. Yeah, if we don't let us do Facebook Live and it's not recorded, then I said I could give the presentation in one of our lives. Yeah. I'll be there with him so I can record the beginning parts before he starts. And then when he starts, I'll have to stop. And then at that point, if they won't let us share it, then the following live we can have him present his Roots Tech presentation for you, for those of you that have missed it.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Anything exciting coming?
Oh.
Your oldest son is turning 30 in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hi, baby.
Okay. Well, thanks very much. We really appreciate you joining
Yeah.
us. Please tell others if this is helpful. Maybe they'd be helpful for them as well. And thanks very much for your support and coming and listening. And keep asking those questions. I really hate to come on and not have any questions. So.
And no, there's no such thing as a dumb question. And yes, we can answer repeated questions multiple times.
Absolutely.
over.
Yeah, we'll answer them because we want you to know and understand. So thank you very much.
Oh, real fast, sorry. Pat corrected me. It does not end on March 2nd. It ends on March 3rd.
Oh,
I apologize.
okay.
It's on March 3rd.
That's right. It
So
goes through Saturday.
the 28th to the 3rd of March. So
Yeah.
if you're planning on coming, grab a ticket and we'll see you there.
Rootstech.org.
Mhm.
All right.
Okay.
We'll
have
see you
a good
later.
night.
Bye-bye.